Hello and thanks for joining us. You are on to Issues and Society, and I'm Zainab Obiti. It's indeed a pleasure to have you join us today. In recent times, there have been a shortfall in the funding of humanitarian needs. While humanitarian need has increased at an alarming rate, many states receive less than half the humanitarian support they need. On the program today, I have a man who will not shut his eyes against the needs of the less privileged in his state. Let's meet the Chief Registrar of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, Olurotimi Williams Daudu, Esquire. Join us again after the break.
With an ever-evolving society, there are everyday issues in the marketplace, in government, in our social lives, even in our homes. Issues and Society brings these happenings to you. Join us on this station. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 081-100-00712, or better still, follow us on our social media handles.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. This is Issues and Society, and my name is Zainab Obiti. Joining me on the program this morning is a man who inspires and touches many hearts in his humanitarian service, a man with an impressive background. He's a dedicated public servant. He's the Chief Registrar of the National Industrial Courts of Nigeria, in person of Olurotimi Williams Daudu. So you're welcome on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Let me not forget that.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. And thank you for granting us the audience. Before we go into subjects today, tell us, give us the brief activities of the Industrial Courts.
The National Industrial Court of Nigeria is a specialized, labor court. We deal essentially with labor and industrial relations related matters, and the court has exclusive jurisdiction.
All right. You are best described as a man with a heart of gold when it comes to charity. What informed this aspect of you?
My background. Early in life, I lost my mother. I lost my father just when I was about, entering the university. So you agree with me that, it was a tough call. I went through a lot, with my brothers. It was, the years of going to school without food in your tummy. I barely had sandals, on, Yeah, so that experience taught me, that it's only proper for people like us, coming from that background, to see how we can impact positively on, those in need, especially, and the society at large. So that is basically the motivation. And let me also add that, in those years, during the period, I had, a couple of people who stood by me, did what they could, to assist. And yeah, for me, that was a huge lesson, and I've taken that to heart.
So you came up with a foundation. Tell us a bit about your foundation and how it all started.
Okay, yeah, like I said, the foundation was just a recent development, as recent as last year, that I took that formal step. But before then, I've been in a position where I had assisted quite a number of people. It's basically impossible to put a figure to it. People needing to pay school fees, people needing to, upkeep to live in school, people in hospitals, Yeah, generally people in need. The elderly in my community, especially. Well, not just in my community, but I mention my community because I have people in my community that from 2011, when I returned to Nigeria till date, I give them monthly stipends, and I'm saying that every month from 2011 till date, and I have never missed a month. Widows, widowers, and all that. And what I do is I started, with a number, and it increases from time to time, and spread across. So now it's not just a matter of my community, Kalamakoko alone. I've also, expanded it to include people from other areas. So I've been doing that for a while, and in 2013 as well, my wife started a free medical outreach, and we've been doing that for from 2013 till date as well. And, I would gladly inform you that the edition for this year is slated for the 27th of December, because again, it's a way of marking her birthday. So, like I said, we've been doing all these activities, with a lot of passion. So, basically last year, I thought, well, it should be more formal, and one should begin to think of something that will endure, like, a legacy that one can leave behind. So that was how the idea of Do Education and Mentoring Initiative, came on board. So I registered the foundation, and we have on board, some of the finest minds that you can think of, and our focus is basically on education. And what we try to do is we are restricted to public secondary schools. And what we do is in those schools, we collaborate with the school management, and we try to identify the poorest of the poor, indigent students.
Can you tell us a bit about the foundation and how it has impacted life in your community?
Yeah, like I said, it was just last year that I felt that, okay, doing all this, will not be sufficient. It will be a great disservice if I don't translate that into a kind of legacy that, will endure, talking about sustainability of the idea of, so that's how the idea of, Do Education and Mentoring Initiative or Foundation came into being. So we had it incorporated, and like I said, we have on board, some of the finest minds that you can think about, including a learned Sikh, who is a very good friend. And yeah, so what we do basically is to focus on education principally, and we go into public secondary schools, and we kind of collaborate with the management, with the school management, and try to identify, the poorest of the poorest, indigent students. In a lot of these schools, you find kids that nobody is paying their school fees. You see the kind of uniforms that they're wearing, and you're like, oh my God, I went through this, So how do we ameliorate this situation? So we identify those kind of children, and what we do at that level is for now, I am the one wholly responsible for that. Once we identify those students, we pay their school fees. We provide them at least one uniform in a session. We provide school standards. We provide textbooks. Basic textbooks. We provide exercise books and other writing, materials. And as at now, I guess we have 50 students on board, spread across about 16 schools or so, and for now we are restricted to the four local governments in Akoko land, in Ondo State. This year we recruited a student from our town in Ondo State as well. So the presentation of the materials, we're coming up this month again. And going forward, we want to expand the idea. We are bringing, some form of creativity into it. And we are hoping that within the next couple of years, we should be able to, have our presence or have our impact felt in every area, of this country. That is our target, and I know it is achievable. I know, a lot of people are buying in. We are receiving a lot of commendation, which is good for us. That's the kind of motivation that when people tell you that you are doing the right thing, you are motivated. So yeah, we're in it.
It's a very beautiful work you're doing. You are encouraging people out there. Presently, lots of students that are out of school in Nigeria. You can imagine if we have people like you, 2, 3 in each state of the Federation, will go a very, very long way, and most children will not be out of school the way they are at the present. So
it is possible.
Now, if I get you very well, you said you're doing the sponsorship all alone. How possible? How are you going to do that? And what effort are you putting in place to call on the well-meaning Nigerians to be part of it? Of course, only you cannot do it.
The truth about these things is that, it takes so little to change the society.
That's true.
I mean, when I started, I realized that, oh my God, it doesn't cost much. And how did I come to that, a conclusion? That was the day we went out with friends, and of course, when we go out like that, normally I would take maybe water or something, and we had, we had fun and all that. And at the end of the day, they brought a bill, and it was 90-something thousand naira. And I'm like, oh my God, this could have been better utilized to impact on the lives of other people. So, that's how it started. Really, it doesn't cost much. I tell you for free, to sponsor a kid in our public secondary schools these days and provide the things I talk about, it costs you probably 30-35,000 naira per kid. Think about how much money we waste on a daily basis buying recharge cards, drinking, doing things that don't really add value to human existence. So if you think about that, then you know that, oh my God, it takes so little to do these things. I was talking about the idea of sustainability. Of course, we are going to be reaching out to people. We have started. We've been talking to people now, and it's been resonating very, very well. Because again, it's a beautiful idea. What I've just come to discover is that a lot of we Nigerians, we are kind-hearted. We are just a good people. It's just that people need, those they can trust. People have the means, they have the resources, but sometimes they don't even have the platform, those that they can trust, to be able to achieve some of these things. And that is the kind of platform we are providing. So, Zainab, somebody like you, going forward, you can say to Dao and say, oh, I'm from this state, I need you to come to my village or elsewhere, even in the FCT. Choose a secondary school of your choice. Our team will go there, relate with the management, identify, maybe for example, you say, oh, I'll be willing to sponsor 1 or 2, of those students. Then we identify and we let you know, and through us, you become responsible, for that child or children, as the case may be. So before you know it, we'll be everywhere and widening access to quality education. Okay. And trust me, education is the antidote to a lot of the ills plaguing our society today.
Thank you, sir. If I get you correctly, you said if I, present myself, that okay, I have a student from my area.
Yes.
Okay, so if I come out to present myself, okay, I have a student from my area, or have 2, 3, am I going to be responsible for the sponsorship, or am I presenting it to the foundation that okay, these students they need help? I don't know.
No,
I want you to.
Yeah, the way it's going to work is Zainab. Oh, this is my alma mater, for instance. I mean, I need you to go there and help me identify 1 or 2 that I can cater for. Like I said, it takes just 35,000 naira. A whole lot of Nigerians will be able to afford that. Trust me. So that's where we're going to be proceeding. And like I said, we have proceeded already.
Yeah, you said.
I had the cause to interact with a gentleman last week, and he said to me, "Oh, by the time we enter 2023, that by the grace of God, he'll be willing to sponsor 10, from his state." I mean, I felt really, really, really good. And how did this start, really? Last year I was elected as the president of the alumni association of my secondary school. One of the cardinal programs I put forward before the election was what I tagged "Adopt and Train a Child Initiative," amongst other programs. So we started with this idea within the school. We identified about 65 students or 66. I'm not very sure now. So when we did that, we put that on our platform, and I said, and I appealed to our members, "Hey, these children need help. Please, let's pull together and help them." And in less than 2 weeks, all these kids were adopted and paid for. And I was like, wow. Then, why don't I? And again, from neighboring communities, I started receiving calls. "Oh, why not extending this to us?" Oh, But again, we're talking about an association here. So that was why I said, "Oh my God," then I can fill in the gap and provide a platform that can expand the frontiers of this initiative. So
it's a very beautiful one, and you also talked about.
And don't forget that. Sorry for conversation. My wife, Dr. Fumilola Williams Daudu, aside from the free medical initiative, which is a yearly event, she also, under the platform of Worthy Purpose Initiative, organizes a yearly quiz competition amongst public secondary schools. So again, that tells you the kind of passion that we have, in education, for education, and the belief that through the instrumentality of education, we can really change our society for the better.
Thank you very much. You also talk about women, widows, and you support old people in your society, in your community in Ondo State as well.
Yeah.
How has that also been impactful, and how many? Okay, you talked about 60 students. But now it's more than 60 now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in fact, so for the widows and the women, how impactful that been?
Yeah, better imagine really. Sometimes my 6 a.m., 5 a.m. my phone rings, and by the time you pick, you hear the voice of an elderly man praying, fervently for you, and you see the joy, you see the happiness. What I do is I have a friend, a lawyer friend, Shego Akeju, who is at home. So every month I just remit the money to him. He's the one that goes around, and whenever I appear in the community, you will see the love. you will see it flows, and prayers everywhere. My goodness, I am just happy doing it. You know.
Have you gotten to a point where you feel like throwing in the towel?
Never. I'm not gonna give up. Like I said, I started this thing a long time ago, right? So it's not just something I can bring myself to say, oh, I'm going to stop it. Yeah, there are things that happen. There are things that are requests that you get that are outrageous, and even on occasions, you assist people who don't really deserve it, and by the time you get to know, you feel bad about it. But hey, that's not enough to say you want to quit. That's not giving up.
Okay. Thank you. Lastly, tell us a bit about yourself. When I was inquiring about you, before I meet my clients, I do a lot of research about her. I see that you have this huge, very impressive educational background and all that. Tell me a bit about yourself, your lives, what you've been able to do all your life with the schools.
Yeah, from a very humble background.
Yeah, like you said earlier.
Yeah, a trained lawyer. What else again? Yeah, I was privileged to attend a postgraduate, Master of Laws degree program at prestigious University of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Certified mediator and arbitrator. Fellow Weinstein International Fellowship. Yeah, that's fellowship in alternative dispute resolution. Certified in the US. In terms of, I was not very poor when I was in school. I was not very poor. Yeah, maybe I was not very good, but not poor. But and again, I was a head boy. When I was in secondary school.
And a head boy. Have a good knowledge.
Well, again, thank God for where we are today.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a rare privilege to be with you.
Thank you.
Know how much I fight to have you on the program. So we are really, really grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you for granting us audience.
And really, thank you, Zena, for having me on the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
That's okay. So on that program, we continue immediately. Stay with us.
With an ever-evolving society, there are everyday issues in the marketplace, in government, in our social lives, even in our homes. Issues and society brings these happenings to you. Join us on this station. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 081-100-00712, or better still, follow us on our social media handles.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. But before I leave, I'd like to plead. If you have the less privilege around you, and you are opportune to help, please don't hesitate to do so. They need your help, they need our help. We've come to the end of today's broadcast. You can follow us on our social media platform. I remain Zainab Obitin. See you next week. Thanks for watching.